Yeah, I apparently laughed really loudly.
Yeah,
and that was
you're
something.
supposed to be like,
yeah, like which is so like ha.
yeah,
it's funny.
Yeah, let me laugh.
Yeah, let me laugh
slap
and
a
be
knee
joyful.
once in a while. Yeah.
Welcome to another episode on the Golden Sheep Podcast. Who are you?
Binh Nguyen.
Hi, Binh Nguyen. How old are you?
I'm 29.
Where were you born?
I was born in Bataan, Philippines. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, now you do. Yeah.
Shooketh.
Yeah.
Okay, and where do you live now?
So I live in Houston, Texas. That's what I like to say. But really, I'm a little up north of Houston. But Houston is so large.
Yeah, no geographic specific location? Just north of Houston?
North of Houston.
That's basically saying just North America, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because, okay, so I live in Spring, right? But Spring is so
geographic location.
It's so boring. She's good. gets the information out of you. No, but like Spring's a boring place, and it's not a lot of things happening there. I prefer the woodlands if I could, right?
Okay,
but
okay.
like
Lots of trees.
Yeah, I do like that. I like the nature.
Yeah.
One of these days I'll go camping again.
Yeah. So Spring, Binh Nguyen. Mm-hmm. What do you do for a profession? What's your 8 to 5 look like?
So I don't have an 8 to 5. That's the beautiful thing about it. Oh. I guess it's a good thing and a bad thing. So it's good to well, I feel like people think it's a flex when I tell people I don't have an 8 to 5 or I don't have a job, because I always tell people I'm jobless. I don't have a job, because that's the honest truth. I don't have one. What I do have is a business. Now, it sounds, I don't know why people think it's like a good thing or a positive thing, because really it means I work all the time. And my favorite line that I always use is especially when I come home from a long day of shooting, is like I would just say this. I'm like, hey, I just came home. I can't believe I just worked all day just to come home to work all night. And literally, it's that every single day times 7. Like no, like I don't get to call in sick to anybody. Like if I'm sick, I just like literally what I do is dial myself and be like, hey, like what. And I would tell myself no too. Like if I called myself and asked if I can take off for sick, I would tell myself no. So it wouldn't. Like I hate that guy, right? I hate that manager. Horrible boss. So yes, and but what we do, what I do is I co-founded BeFree Media with Cole Rogers, and together me and him have a small business where we help other businesses grow.
Small is a humble word for what they do. They are fantastic. And how did you even, you know what? The question, I'm going to ask the golden question. How did you get here? One sentence.
How did I get here?
Ladies and gentlemen, he declined the dry run for this. So this is raw footage. Raw.
I think being fired. Yeah, being fired would be how I got here.
So you went from be fired to be free.
To be free. I got free of a job. Yeah, be free of a job. Yeah.
Wow. And then from there, you could have gone anywhere, but you chose to do this.
I did. Well, I wanted to do this for a while. I think majority of the time when people have when they start their business, because it's something they wanted to do for a very long time. They just needed that extra push. And I think the biggest thing to hold people back from starting their business or chasing their dreams or achieving their goals is that there's always safety and just comfort, right? And when people are stuck in a certain lifestyle, even though and I use stuck because these are people who aren't happy with their current lifestyle. And instead of like trying to find a way around it, even though they might think they have the right idea or the right plan, even so, like they've spent that much time to think about it, they probably won't even do it because there's some danger, there's risk involved. Like, what if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't, like, what if it fails? What if I embarrass myself to myself, right? Forget everybody else.
Yeah.
But if I prove to myself that I'm not competent, then, like, what does that do to my ego and to my character and my outlook of life after that? And so it's a scary thing. And that's what held me back for a very long time. Like, I've wanted to do this I've been doing photography and videography since I was 16. I'm 29 now, so you do the math. I can't.
Yeah.
So
yeah. That's like 200 years or something, right?
Something like that. Yeah. I traded all my math skills for
talent.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but I wanted to do this for a very long time, and then I needed to, but I was scared, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it. And my biggest fear, beside what I just like mentioned already, was like also like financial. Like, what if I don't make any money, right? And so I spent So my first job when I was 16, I was a waiter, and I stayed in the restaurant industry for about 10 years. From like 16 to 26, I was waiting tables, I was bartending, and in that time frame, I had to think to myself, I'm like, okay, wait, I work strictly off of tips. So in a way, I was technically paying myself because the company or the restaurants or the bar never paid you any money. They gave you $2.13 an hour, which literally did nothing. It's all that goes to taxes, and you have to still pay more taxes on top of that. And so my biggest fear was, what if I don't make any money? And was kind of comforted with the fact that I lived a lifestyle where I paid myself for 10 years.
Right.
And so after that, I knew I wanted to, like, I still was scared to start a business because I'm like, okay, besides the finance side, like the safety of not having a job and like that money, I don't feel like I have enough skills to start a business. And I think I'm sometimes like too aware of myself. Like I wish I was like a little bit more ignorant of like my weaknesses, because then I'll be more brave in making decisions. But I was so aware of my weaknesses. I'm like, okay, I need more skills in order to do this. And so I wanted to like learn how to sell, and I want to learn how to really work in like a higher ticket item versus like $50 meals or like $10 drinks. And so I went to and sell cars for 2.5 years. Wow. And that was awesome. I learned so many skills. I learned like how to communicate much better.
For sure.
And then also learn how to really ask the right questions, because all about sales is just about asking the right questions and getting to really understand them, not on like a personal level, but on what they want and what they really need.
Sure.
And from there, I felt like I was ready. I had the skills. I had my people skills from bartending and waiting tables. I had my sales skills from learning how to sell cars. And now, especially with like selling cars, you literally ran it like your own business. Like I had to do my own marketing, my own sales. I did the customer interactions. Like I handled all the issues and the problems. So I felt like I was ready. But now it was just a fear of like, okay, can I do this? Yeah. And so the reason why I said being fired is what got me here is because if I wasn't fired, I genuinely feel I would still be working there right now. No matter how many skills I would have acquired, I would have felt like it's not enough.
Where did you think your life was going to be? Because you went from bartending, sales, and then now to owning your whole videography empire, pretty much, and stuff in between that you probably didn't even include. Where did you think you were going to go through all that?
Like when I first started the business?
At any point.
At any point.
Let's back up to even like the bartending days. Where did you think your life was going to go?
Well, I didn't go to college, which, being Asian, you understand. You understand what that's like. So like my dad basically disowned me, like, because I didn't go to college. He was like, wow. I didn't, like, he literally, like, for many years, he didn't tell people that he had a son. Like, it was like,
wow.
I didn't exist for a while. But so it was a very tough decision on my end to, like, knowing that that's going to be the outcome if I chose not to go to college. But I just knew college wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I didn't have any career choices that I really liked to enjoy. As a kid, even as a very young kid, I always wanted to be a business owner.
Wow.
I love sales. Like one of the things my mom always like really gave me a lot of compliments on is like my people skills.
Yeah.
So like I remember growing up, we grew up in this really small, like, tight knit community in Houston, and like everybody, like majority of the families are immigrants, and so none of them have cars. We basically just walk everywhere and purchase things from like small convenience stores and stuff like that. And I would go and do these errands for my mom, and I would like buy milk or buy eggs and stuff like that. And I would go to these like little tiny stores, a mom and pop store, and I would make such great relationships with everybody. And so when my mom would go with me, they were like, "Oh, hey Ben, come here," and they would give me like free food, free candy. And mom was like, "What? Are you like kind of a celebrity? Like, how's this happening?"
Yeah.
And I think it helped. I told her I think it helped because like I was like the only Asian kid in that town. It was like a whole bunch of Hispanic people, and it was just me, right? And so like everywhere I went, they were like, "Oh, I was easy to like point out, right?" But when she told me all these things, like she's like, "Ben, you're very good at like talking to people and getting people to like you, and like you make friends everywhere you go."
Yeah.
And so I was very, very happy about that. And then she was kind of the one that's like, if you have the skill of like talking to people, you'd be very good at sales and having your own business. And she kind of implanted that seed in my head like as a very young age. And my dad was also very strong into communication as well too. One of the biggest things he told me was that the best lesson my dad taught me was this. He's like, you can literally be the worst person at literally everything in life.
Yeah.
But as long as you know how to talk to people,
right,
you can make it, because you can just convince somebody who knows how to do it for you.
Yeah.
So you never have to learn how to do anything. Like, and so to that I was like, well, I go to college then, right? And so
His advice backfired.
Exactly.
Kaboom.
And so because of all so I really focused on communication skills like growing up. I was very, very huge into it. I always wanted to make friends. I always want to get people to I wanted to understand people. And I just knew that like if I had a good business idea and I applied these skills, it would be successful. But I had zero good business ideas.
Right. Everything that you went through was purposeful. From how you grew up, from how you negotiated the eggs at the local Ricardo, to even just having that run around from having your dad not accept you, right? It made you fight for what you have now, I'd say. So in that light, how do you think culture impacted you being a business owner today?
I'm glad you asked that because I found myself struggling a lot with the culture thing because I grew up with like really, really like strict Asian parents and it was always like, okay, you're like, you got to know your place, right? You got to like let the adults talk, like the adults sit at a different table, the kids sit at a different table. It's very hierarchical. Yeah, exactly. And so I didn't grow up with a lot of confidence at all. I felt like I was very quiet, too timid, and I was always waiting to be spoken to. So like people who are like my age, it was easy for me to like make friends. But like people who are not even like they're older than me, but if I see if they have more value or more power or more authority than me, it would just make me, I would naturally make myself more like just quieter. And I didn't want to speak and I was not, and I kept my personality to myself and which kind of hurt when I started this business because I had to do, or even when I was doing like bartending, it's like I was bartending at this place where a lot of my guests and clients were a lot richer and more successful than I was. I didn't know how to talk to them. Right. Even though I was great at talking to people, I didn't know how to talk to them because I never let my personality shine out. Right. And so it took a little bit of time, but like I've had to learn how to basically be like, hey, like you can speak up, you can talk, you don't have to wait your turn to be spoken to. And you can speak like we're on the same level because we're kind of are. At the end of the day, we're both human beings, right? They have stories, I have stories. We can both talk, we can both share. There's no need to be to put them on an altar, which is what I kind of did in my head. My personal opinion, don't come at me, people. But I think Asian culture, there's so much about them breaking you before they build you. They really do. They're like, you need to be more, but I do that to him. Cole's on the other side of the camera. But truly, I feel like I was not necessarily muted, but my volume button kept constantly being turned down. Shh, you're too loud. You're too loud. And as a female, you probably get it worse too. Yeah, I apparently laugh really loudly. Yeah, and that was something. You're supposed to be like, which is so like, ha! Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, let me laugh. Yeah, let me laugh slap and be joyful. Yeah, as Cole Rogers says, look for the happy. Exactly. So that was definitely hard for you, and I empathize again so much with what you're saying. How do you think it built you? So that's how it almost broke you a little bit. I don't think it built me at all, to be honest. Like on that side too, because I felt like that just kind of held me back. I felt like if I didn't have those weaknesses, I would have been further in life. Like I've been more confident in my abilities. I probably would have started my business a lot sooner. Like I think when that part of the culture is like, I guess like it's all about safety rather than chasing dreams. Security. Safety, securities, right? That's why we only have 3 career choices we're allowed to have because these make the money, they're safe, they're stable, right? And so it's always about that. It's like don't out dream your potentials is what like my mom and dad always tell me. It's like, be realistic. Like you are this person, right? And I'm just like, damn, like I didn't know I was that person. I thought I was a little better than that. Yeah. But I didn't like that. That didn't help at all, to be honest. Like, and a lot of Asian kids went through what you went through to some point, right? Like, I want to do this. This is who I am. And there's something really unique in that. And yet that's not part of the 3 options. Yeah. So right. Like, is that like, you're like, I want to own my own business. Is that a branch of medicine? No, not at all. You can own your own pharmacy. Right. For real. So how did your dad come full circle to say like, hey, I get this and I accept this? I don't think my dad has, to be honest. You don't think he's proud of you? No. I genuinely don't believe so. Episode 3 is going to be Binh's dad. I think it takes a lot for him to be proud. I don't think I'm at that stage currently where he is proud. I don't think he's disappointed though, which I think is a positive. Feeling something and saying it are 2 different things. He may feel it, but I don't think he feels it either. Because he doesn't know about what I do. I keep a lot of what I do to myself. Like me and him still have a very weak relationship as of now. Like I'm his son now, which is great. Like I got readopted. So, Yeah.
And I think that's why stories like this need to be told. Because we hear about oh yeah, I had a falling out with my dad. He didn't accept me for who I am. And now he accepts me, and, cherries on top to a sundae. Sometimes these things are still in process.
Yeah, it takes time. And I'm just glad that there is progress. That's ultimate. One of the things that I tell people a lot, and I tell myself this a lot, it's like one of the best lessons I've learned growing up is just that there's no such thing as an insignificant amount of progress.
Right.
So no matter how much progress there is, just be happy that there is some, and just really focus on that. Because I think a lot of time people are really focusing on like, oh, well, I put just so much effort and I got so little returns, or so little came out of it. There's no need to continue to do this, or obviously this is the wrong direction. When it's like, no, you did all the right thing. You thought about it, you planned it, you executed, you did all the hard stuff already. You just gave up too soon. Like, so and so you got to keep yourself motivated by just focusing on any progress there is. And yeah, so the fact that there is any progress at all, I'm extremely happy.
If there's somebody who is on the fence, if you will, about this, they're like, I have skills, I know my weaknesses, but I really want to start my own business. Yeah. What is something courageous you can share with them that you had to build for yourself? Because the first person you have to sell this to is yourself.
Yeah, true, exactly. So I guess like I can say from personal experience, for me, what I wanted to be realistic as well too. I didn't want to chase too big of a dream. And so for me, I wanted to be financially safe, right? So this way, I saved up 3 months worth of money so I can take care of all my bills, really make $0, zero income, and to be able to pay my bills and have food. Yeah, right. Be a normal person. Yeah. And so that to me, that was necessary, because if I didn't have that, I felt like I would be too stressed and I wouldn't be able to fully focus and commit to the business. I would always feel like I need to like the time's running out. Like I got to stop, right? And even so, like I ran through that 3 months and I still wasn't successful. Like I was on my last, like probably $100 when I was talking to Cole originally to start this business. And so, it was really like do or die that moment. And so I say, figure out what are you afraid of, right? And find a solution.
Like truly afraid of.
Yeah, and then find a solution to it. Like figure out what's the easiest thing you can do to fix that, right? And for me, it was like I needed that financial security, a little bit of safety net, but also I needed a push. Like I needed a really strong push to make this happen. Like I said, if I didn't get fired, I'd probably still be doing that job right now. So I don't think I'm the correct person to be saying like, hey, just follow your dreams and stuff like that, because I didn't do that. I was a hypocrite, right? Like I would be a hypocrite if I said that, because I didn't chase my dream by choice. I chased my dream because I was put in the position to chase my dream.
And also, like the phoenix, you rose.
Yes.
And like the phoenix, which is a bird, this mystical bird, everybody, it had to burn to the ashes. Like the whole saying is that the phoenix rose from the ashes.
Wow. It had to get fired.
It had to be burnt to ashes, people, for it to fly up, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think you're a hypocrite. I think it's not about finding the right person, romantic-wise, right? But it's about the timing.
Timing is important, yes.
So I think it was your time to start, and this is your time.
Thank you.
If you can gift us a page out of your storybook, what's your golden sheep advice for the world?
I think I gave it already. It was that.
What's another one?
That's another one. Okay, so
another one. That was advice for fear, but in general, even if it's like go to Costco for the hot dogs.
I think for me it was that especially when I stepped foot into the making my own business and like starting it and running it and trying to find clients, I didn't realize how many hats I had to wear. Yeah. And so all the different hats, all the different responsibilities made me extremely nervous and made me like I was anxious, I was nervous, I was overwhelmed, there was so much stress. And I felt like I felt too often where I was doing so much, but I felt like I was doing nothing at the same time. And I just felt like I was just running in place and like no progress was being made, right? And like
hamster on a wheel.
Exactly. And like my whole thing was like, like there's no such thing as an insignificant amount of progress, but there still has to be some progress. And I found there was zero. Like I'm hyper focused on like where is the progress, but I couldn't see anything. And the reason why is because I realized it wasn't. And so my fix to that, it was that I need to work harder. I need to put in more time. I need to cut out even more things out from my life and just fully focus on this. And I kept doing that. To the point where there was no more effort or no more time that I can give to the business. And I still felt like I was making no progress. And it came down to I was just not doing things correctly. And I have to like really take a step back to realize, okay, look, I'm doing a lot, but I'm not doing anything correctly. And so let's just focus on doing one thing right. and accomplishing that one thing and just letting everything else burn. Like, who cares? Like, you know, because I'd rather have like one thing done correctly and like 24 other things like catching on fires and there's blazes behind me, right? Than 25 things that's on fire. Right. And so that's what I had to do and just really focus. And the way to do that is just pick the easiest thing. What's the easiest thing on your list of things you have to do? And it's like, what would take the least amount of time for me to accomplish? And then do that one first. And I actually learned that from a bartender friend of mine.
Interesting.
When I first started, I'm gonna say his name because he's never gonna watch this. He's super cool old.
Maybe he'll go viral and he will.
He's like an old Guatemalan guy. I don't even think he has like social media. But his name's Ricardo. He's a really, really cool guy. He's been doing bartending for like 20 plus years. And his special skill set was that. So he worked in the well. And so bartending in the well, you would just like make all the drinks for the entire restaurant. And so he would probably make like 500 plus drinks a night. This guy, he was a machine. And will pump these drinks out perfect every single time. And it's the short and the quickest amount of time. And he'll be so calm and collected, right? I've been in the well. I love being in the well because I don't have to talk to people sometimes. Like as much as I love doing it, I also hate it sometimes. And so I like doing it. But then when you have all the tickets come in, all these like you get overwhelmed. Yeah. And so one day I was like, Ricardo, you got to teach me. Like, please, like, what is your secret? How are you able to stay so calm? Because even when I can match him on productivity, I couldn't match him on the mental like stability, right? And he's like, okay. What you do is that when you have all these tickets come in and there's all these different drinks, right? He's like, there's 30 drinks in front of you that you have to make. Yeah. Which one do you do first? And my answer was, I'll do the first one. The first one that came in, because this one came in first. It needs to be out first. He's like, no, wrong answer. You do the easier one first. And then he's like, you knock out all the easiest stuff first. Yeah. And that might be like, so your 30 drinks, 6 of them are super easy. You can probably knock out in like less than a minute. Now you only have 24 drinks. Is that more scary? Yeah. To look at. And I'm like, oh, that's less scary. He's like, okay, perfect. Now knock out this next easiest drink. And you work your way up to the level of difficulty. Yeah. And you leave the hardest drinks for last. And there might be only 5 left. And at this point, okay, I just knocked out 20 drinks. Build up that momentum. And you have the confidence that you can as well too. And so I forgot about that because like that took me so well and moved me so far in the bartending world. But when I went to start into this business, I kind of forgot about all these little lessons and skills I've learned. And sometimes I just gotta sit back and relax and just like kind of meditate and try to remind myself, hey, these lessons are gold and they're transferable and they work even now in my business currently. And so that's every experience, at least in your story, and I'm sure people can relate to this, every experience had a purpose and had a place. Even the ticket order for like with Ricardo. Right? Shout out to Ricardo. But now you use that advice and it almost optimized your business. It was almost the game changer for you. No, it was for sure. Without that, I would probably still be in that hamster wheel, as you said. Hamster wheel. Yeah, I'd still be running around. So stepping off of the hamster wheel, what clients do you look for and how do those people find you? Clients, we are really in the business of helping anyone. We do want to have a niche. Our current niche is real estate. It doesn't. We are trying to grow out of real estate. Doesn't mean we're gonna stop doing real estate, but we want to also help other businesses as well too. Local businesses is always a plus, just because we can both help each other a lot more than I think like a big corporate, ginormous, company that doesn't really need our help anyway. They probably don't see the value as much. And then also I always look for clients that I like to work with. So in the beginning, I was never in a position to really pick and choose the clients. It was more like, okay, you have money, I need money. Let's do this, right? And then I'll put up whatever I need to do in order to get that money from you. But now I'm in a better position where I'm able to, okay, like that person's a lot of headache and a lot of stress, and I don't want to work with that person anymore. He's not talking about Golden Sheep life coaching. No. And so that is choosing someone, like choosing a client is on the compatibility level is very important for me now. And then on top of that, just do I see a long-lasting relationship? Like I want to be able to work with people for a very long time, because I think what we do for businesses, the product that we deliver only gets better once the relationship grows as well too. And so we don't see us working together for very long. I'm like, okay, I will never be able to deliver the product that I really want to deliver on that same quality level. And then how to find us? It's just social media. I would say like 90% of our business either come from social media or just referral. Okay. And then the other 10% maybe just like random. What's your handle? My handle or like our business? I mean your business. How do people find you? Or even your personal one. Yeah. Send everybody to BeFree_Binh. BeFree_Binh. Thank you so much for your time. That's a wrap. Perfect.